Recursion is nothing but a function called itself is called recursion. Okay, here the factorial function is denoted with the symbol explanation mark to get something like 0 factorial is equal to 1. Suppose if you want to get n factorial value, you'll use the formula is n into n minus 1 factorial. N minus 1 factorial. Okay, the definition says that the factorial of 0 is 1 and the factorial of any another value n is n multiplied by the factorial of n minus 1. N multiplied by a factorial of n minus 1. So 3 factorial is 3 times of 2 factorial, which is 2 factorial means 2 times of 1 factorial. 1 factorial means 1 time of 0 factorial. Okay, all putting it all together 3 times 3 factorial equals to 3 times 2 times 1 time and 1 time. Okay, that is 3 into 2 into 1 into 1. Okay, then we'll get the result is 6. Get the result is 6. Okay, write recursive definition in Python programming to evaluate. Okay, that is DEF. The first step is to decide what are the parameters should be. What are the parameters should be. Okay, in the case it should be clear that factorial takes an integer. Factorial takes an integer. Okay, that is DEF factorial give one argument colon then enter. If argument happens to be 0, all we have to do return 1. So DEF factorial of n colon enter if write the conditional execution, that is if n is equal to 0 colon it's written 1. Okay, these are the first steps in Python IDE. Right? So discussed previously DEF factorial of n colon if n is equal to 0 then return 1. It is the first definition. Now we will incrementally development this one. Okay, first of all we'll take it factorial 1 or 0 return 1 is correct. Okay, any other value we'll take it. There is nothing display if you pass other than 0. Other than 0. Okay. Now we'll add. Otherwise, the recursive call to find factorial n minus 1 and then multiply it by n. Okay. See here. Coding that this to modify this factorial function to adding some more code. Factorial n is that same condition. If n is equal to 0, then return 1 else. Return else. That is here define the recursive. Recursive is equal to factorial n minus 1. Factorial n minus 1. That means the function called itself. Okay. Then result is equal to result is equal to recursive into n into recursive. N into recursive. Recursive is equal to n into recursive. N into recursive. Okay. Then finally we will return result. Okay. Okay. And now we will test this function factorial 0. If you execute successfully, it return 1. Then factorial 5. It gives 120. Then there is no any problem. Okay, since here the flow of execution of this program is, if we call factorial with 5, since 5 is not 0, we take second branch of calculate factorial n minus 1, that is, since 4 is not 0, we take the second branch of calculation factorial of n minus 1, that is 4 minus 1, now 3. Since 3 is not 0, we take the second branch of calculation, calculate the factorial value of 3 minus 1, that is, since 2 is not 0, we take second branch of calculate factorial value of 1 minus 2 minus 1, since that is 1. Okay, 1 is not equal to 0, we take second branch of calculation factorial 1 minus 1, it's 0. If 0 equals to 0, we take first branch and return 1 without making any more recursive calls. Then return 1. 1 is multiplied by 1. Okay, 1 is multiplied by n, which is 1, and result is returned. That is 1. The return value is 1 multiplied by n, which is 2. Okay, the result is returned. Then the return value is 2 is multiplied by n, okay, which is 3, and result is 6. Okay, it becomes return the value of function started all the process. Okay, like this, the return value is 3 multiplied by n, that is 20. Okay, that is 6 into 4. 6 into 4, its return value is 24. Then 24 into 5. Okay, finally we'll get 120. Okay, now we'll see the flow of execution, the process of stack diagram. The flow of execution of the program is, we call, okay, factorial value, you'll guess the value is 3. Since 3 is not 0, we take the second branch of calculate factorial n minus 1. Since 2 is not 0, we'll take second branch of and calculate factorial n minus 1. Since 1 is not 0, we'll take second branch of calculate factorial n minus 1. Since 0 is equal to 0, we'll take first branch return statement 1. Okay, we'll make recursive calls. The return value is 1 multiplied by n, which is 1, n also 1, and result is returned as 1. And the return value is 1 multiplied by n. N is now, n value is 2, and return is return. That means 1 into 2, it return 2. The return value is 2 is multiplied by n, which is n is 3. Okay, the result value is 6. Ultimately, it prints the result value 6. Now we see The figure shows stack diagrams like this sequence of function calls. Okay, the return values are shown as pass back or stack. Here each frame, the return value is value of result. The return value is the value of result, which is product and n and recursive. Okay, the last frame, the local variables recursive and result do not exist because the branch creates does not run. Okay, here it is the stack diagram of the more recursion. That is, n is first you will pass n is equal to 3. Then recursive is that is f n minus 1. So recursion is 2. 2. Okay. Then what will happen? Its calls recursive n minus 2 calls n is 2. That is 3 minus 1. Recursive is factorial n minus 1 is there. Now n value is 3. Factorial n minus 1 means 3 minus 1. That is n is equal to 2. Now what about recursion? Recursion is equal to factorial n minus 1 is there. That is 2 minus 1, 1. Then it calls factorial 1 minus 1, recursive 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. 0. If factorial of n value is 0, it returns 1. Okay, and n value is 2. Resultant value is 1. 1 into 2, it gets result 2. Now n value is 3. Return result value is 2. 2 into 3, 6. Finally, it's returned to the main function 6. 6 value. Okay, like this happening the flow of execution in recursion process. Okay, in recursion process. Okay, now we'll see this factorial function in all arguments. What will happen? Factorial 1.5. Q 1.5. What will happen? Trace back. Recursion error. Maximum recursion depth exceeded in comparison. In comparison. Suppose we will pass string values in factorial string, that is str value. What will happen? Unsupported operand type or minus str. Okay, anytime you will develop a function, you will make function, it gives good result. It gives right result.